Welcome all to Crypto and Chill. I am Mike, aka Veteran Crypto, and with me as always on Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific is Jeff. How's it going, brother?
Good, man. I'm in my new place. Still got a lot of stuff to. It's just pretty organized. Setting up everything, but I got some furniture to move around because this stuff right here I need to get rid of because I don't have space for it. But yeah, it's nice to be fully moved in and
that's quite the duck you got back there.
Yeah, the big duck.
Yeah. Does your cat like attack it or anything or
no? She just sleeps by it.
She's been cuddling up with it.
Whiny. Yeah, she's been real whiny. I've been letting her sleep.
How's your cat doing with all the other cats gone?
She's a little more whiny than normal. So I've been letting her sleep with me at night, and it's but it's been chill. It's nice. Met some of the neighbors. They're pretty cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's nice and quiet over here. I don't hear the train going by. And
nice.
But yeah, man, excited for once I get everything fully set up, all my pictures hanging on the wall. I got a bunch of art that I need to hang, so time to make it homey.
Nice. Well, shit. Let me. I'll share just a couple funny things that I found like before we went live. So this one is my son has created a primitive pillow fort. My daughter, unable to break her way in, has wandered to the kitchen and is eating his half-finished dinner while he screams, "No, mine!" From behind his walls. I could stop her, but I think it's important to let children learn important lessons like when the enemy's fortifications are impregnable, pillage the countryside until starvation forces them out. I was like, that's pretty fucking funny.
Life lesson. It's a proverb, right there.
Yeah. So this other one was, I'm going to start a reverse OnlyFans. Going to send random people pics of my balls and gooch until they pay me $16 a month to stop. Actually, that made me think for a second. I was like, that might work, just freaking send random people pics of your freaking, your taint and shit until they fucking, I'll pay you to stop. And this one, it wasn't as funny, but it says a friend who has worked in Chicago his entire life tells me it's not that violent. He's a tail gunner on a school bus.
Oh, no.
So yeah,
it's a mostly peaceful city.
yeah, right. Mostly peaceful protest.
Mostly peaceful protest.
Yeah, so
that's why the Chicago Bears are leaving Chicago.
Are they?
Yeah, they're moving just across into Indiana.
About
20 miles away. Yeah.
So they're like freaking now Indiana's gonna have the Indiana Colts and the Bears.
Yeah, it's just inside in the state line, but I think it's still close to Chicago. Maybe like a half hour.
I mean, are they like moving, like they're not going to be the Chicago Bears anymore or?
See, I don't know actually.
Cause I mean, if they're just moving to like a new stadium or something like that, that's one thing, but if they're like straight up, like we're out of here.
Yeah, see, I don't know if they're actually doing a name change, but I know they're moving just into Indiana. But still, I think it's because of like the taxes and stuff that are going on and the crime and the mayor and the governor they were like, oh no, Chicago, the Bears are staying and all this and that. And they're like, nah, fuck this. It's like, how bad do you have to ruin a city for your team to be like, fuck this, we're out?
Dude, I mean, it's definitely got to get bad because most of those people came, they came from the streets. Most of the people in the NFL and stuff like that, they came up rough, and that's what made them work harder than everybody else, to be better at at their chosen profession. It's
Mhm.
there's I mean, I came up from like very very humble beginnings. Whenever you grow up poor, either you're gonna stay poor because you're just gonna have the same bad habits, and be lazy, and take welfare and shit like that, or the opposite happens, like what happened with me. Like the day I graduated high school, I had a backpack packed. I fucking went out to the truck stop and I fucking hitchhiked, and I went from Utah out to California. And freaking, it was when the Rodney King riots were going on. I saw the smoke rising up from the city, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm out of here." So I hitched a ride with the truck going back the other way, and ended up in Flint, Michigan. And freaking, not that that was much better, but that's where I joined the military. But I got the hell out of there. It's like I said, two types of people come out of hard times. Either people that are just doomed to live that life forever, or somebody that's fucking bound and determined to like never live like that again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You either still grift off the system, or you're like, nah, fuck this. I'm
Yeah.
out of here.
Oh, exactly. If you want something, you got to go out there and fucking get it.
Get it while the getting's good, man.
Well, what do you got for us, crypto wise?
Oh man. So you remember how a week or two ago I mentioned that somebody in the Twitter space was talking about Sonic Labs, and how he heard a little birdie say that they could potentially be shutting down in like 90 days or something like that. Well, we got an update today. They're not shutting down per se, but some people are resigning from the board.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I saw that news too, but yeah, definitely go through it.
yeah. So Michael Kong, Andre Crone, and David Richardson are resigning from the board, and they have some new leadership joining in. But I saw this months and months ago, I think last year maybe, that this guy Andre Crone, who I guess systems architecture, I don't know exactly what he did at Sonic, but I've heard that he was kind of a scammer in previous projects, and people were sounding the alarm that he was going to do the same at Sonic. And I've seen some people say that Andre has blocked them for calling him out,
Oh
and
yeah.
like that guy from talking about Kita who blocked you.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude.
That main child.
That's like so weak. Like, whenever somebody blocks you on like X, that's like you might as well just say that you're a bitch. It's I don't know. It's just you can't even words hurt you that much, or you don't want to hear somebody respond to. It's when they send those really freaking whiny messages, and they'll say something, like they'll call you a bunch of names and stuff like that, but then they block you so you can't say anything back. It's like that's like
Yeah.
I'm rubber, you're glue. It's like back in the day, I'm rubber, your glue, bounce off.
You sticks to you. Oh, it looks like Mike got. Oh, you froze for a second.
Yeah. No, it's just I don't know if you heard me, but I'm rubber, you're glue. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yep. Yep. Joseph, he made the milkshakes at Sonic. Oh shit. Yeah, so Andre has this project called Flying Tulip. Um and that's not it. I don't What is his where is it at? I don't I think it's a DeFi protocol. But I guess he's this guy is saying he's transferred Sonic's liquidity to his newly established project. So, and Sonic had this huge update. So yeah, tokens down, community sentiment is down. We see both clearly. We are not spinning it, and we're not asking anyone to pretend. So the next 100 days are not a sprint to some finish line. The plan is simpler and harder than that. Get 1% better every day and let it compound. Small gains stacked daily, all pointed in the same direction. So give them 100 days, maybe not 90, but it looks like this is another one that's about to bite the dust, man.
I was gonna say, because I mean, I honestly, and I mean, not to say that there isn't, but to my recollection, not a whole lot on Sonic that's going on. As far as network usage, DeFi protocols, stuff like that. I mean, there's some on there, but I mean, I'll go to DeFi Llama and look. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, this guy said, this comment, really generic promises. Why just not telling that funds had dried out and we are closing?
Yeah.
That's what all these seem like. I mean, when you have 3 guys of leadership positions like that, just leave. Like, oh, we see crypto shifting and we're excited for the next phase, but we're out of this project.
Yeah, they just like go on to the next one. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, here I'll put it up real quick.
How bad? Oh God.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh.
I mean, it was doing great for a while and then just freaking tanked. I mean, what is it down to now?
Yeah, because they were doing the whole
there's only 20 million on the entire freaking Sonic network.
And I'll tell you exactly what that spike. It was when Sonic was starting their airdrop campaign for Sonic points, and I think you were doing some of that too, right? Providing liquidity and
yeah. I messed around with Sonic for a hot minute, but I ended up selling it all.
Yeah. So
I earned a little bit of yield and then I got out of it.
Yeah, man. That's quite the
not a whole lot, man. And like, of course, Aave, but yeah, the Shadow Exchange and the Silo Finance, that we did deep dives on those at one point, but they just never took off. I mean, like, look, freaking Shadow has just shy of 4 million in TVL. Silo Finance has like 2.5 million. That's not that's not the deep liquidity that you want to see.
Nope.
So anyway, I mean, it's better than some out there, but those are the top protocols on Sonic.
That's so sad.
Yeah, because Beats is 3 chains and Aave is 21 chains, but Silo is 8 chains. But I believe, if from our deep dive, I believe that Silo started on Sonic and then expanded to other chains, and then Shadow Exchange is only on Sonic.
Right.
So, it's there's just a lot better, dexes out there where there's deeper liquidity, and the deeper liquidity and the more traffic, the more fees. That's where people are going to go. Right now that's pretty much Aave. I mean, there's others like Pendle and stuff like that, but Aave, Morpho, Uniswap, Aerodrome, Hyperliquid. Trying to think of kind of the top ones. Can you think of any? Like, what's some other top ones?
Not at the top.
Right, I mean, Pump.Fun was there for a minute with the meme coin frenzy, but it's died off. Well, shit. Again, I'm like sitting here on DeFi Llama. No reason to speculate. All right.
Where's my phone? In my hand.
Yeah. So Lido Finance, Aave, like I said, Morpho, like I said, Sky.
Athena.
Yeah, Athena. Uniswap. Let's see. Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's only a couple players really.
Securitize.
Pancake Swap is up there. Just Lend. Maple Finance. I was bullish
Maple.
on that for a minute. I'm kind of curious how they're doing.
Looks like they're still holding on.
Yeah, I mean they got 2 billion of TVL. I don't know anything about Grove Finance. I know
Babylon.
Ondo Finance is doing great. If I just can't buy the token, Ondo is doing great things. I just cannot bring myself to buy the token after that deep dive, and it's I should have known before, but I just never put that two and two together that David taught me. About the just how, it is simply, it was my simple ignorance. Not thinking about value capture. Like what exactly, what connection does the token have with the profitability of the company? Because if it doesn't, like we keep saying, it's like buying a football jersey or a baseball card. Actually, those two things David pointed out are actually, probably more valuable than some of these tokens because,
Yeah.
at least some of those might become a collector's item someday. Some of these tokens, they have nothing to do with the project other than they're the ones that minted it and they're the ones that have a bunch of it and sell it, to freaking fund operations and shit, to try to build, their product. That's pretty much been crypto. It's all been speculation. It's basically a bunch of people saying that this project's better or this project's better because they're talking to so and so, or they just got to deal with this person. And until these companies like Canton Network is the one I like to point to, is and I'm not saying go out and buy Canton. There's a lot of what ifs and maybes with Canton too, but at least Canton, there's the burn mint mechanism. The more it's adopted, the more it's used, the less token there is, and that potentially can make the price go up. So, but some of these, they just, there's absolutely no connection. Like Ondo, you can vote, but Ondo Finance, controls the majority of the votes, so it's not even really a DAO. If by definition, if a small group or a single entity can decide, the voting, if something comes out, a proposal comes out, they can make it whatever they want. They can say yes, no, and that's pretty much it. And that was the as far as DAOs, Aave. Remember how their DAO like freaking basically said, "Screw this, we're out" for that reason.
Yep. Yeah, people were that was like the initial red flag that people were calling out, before everything happened. They're like, there's something going on here and then it's just the house of cards came tumbling down.
Oh, dude, yeah, because it was the DAO first, then it was the risk team, and then it was the V3 developers, and then it was the exploit. Like I think it was a couple weeks after that, it was the exploit. Because I remember we did a deep dive on it 2 weeks before it happened, and we were pointing out, all the red flags, those things we just mentioned, and then that pooled liquidity, our deep dive, taught us that the way the architecture set up, that all the liquidity on Aave is basically in one account. So if somebody gets the keys to that one account, they can do all kinds of shit. And so we were like, this is no bueno, and that's what ended up happening for the most part. Was that just they were able to extract that 300 million in liquidity and abscond with a lot of it. A lot of it got frozen and stuff like that, but they were able to get away with quite a bit of money.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see, man. You think these people building these protocols would have better security measures? It's like, fuck, dude.
Well, I mean, a good example is Morpho. At least they have vaults. And in the different vaults, they're firewalled or separated, however you want to phrase it. But basically, if one of the vaults is exploited, it doesn't, it's not like it's not a virus that's going to spread. It's every all the other vaults are fine; they're cut off. So the way that the architecture is, my understanding of it, like I'm not an expert on it, but the deep dive that we did, and I've done some research on Morpho because I have a decent bag of it. Um, but yeah, they just superior architecture. They definitely put some thought into how they built it out.
Yeah, got to protect your users, man. No.
Well, and something that we pointed out today is, I mean, it's like I don't want people to like think that we're just doing nothing but fudding projects. I mean, we'll tell the good and the bad. I mean, we don't want people to lose money. We don't want the price of these assets to go down, but we feel that it's we're obligated to basically to try to educate ourselves and educate you while we're doing it of how these tokens potentially are going to work in the future. Which projects are going to survive and the majority of them that are not, that from what we can see, because they're not being adopted. There's no TVL, the tokenomics suck. So why would we as the token holders take that risk to buy that token when, like Sonic, it looks like they might be folding up shop. There's been other chains. Barachain went under. There's a bunch of different projects that fold in bear markets. And so if you're not paying attention, even as bullish as I am on Arrow, it's my largest holding. I appreciate the shit out of David for trying to poke holes in it all the time, because it makes me have to dig deeper into it to like fully understand so that I can debate him. Because if I don't know about the project, I can't debate him. So it's it motivates me to look deeper, and that's what you need to find. Is you need to find opposing views. If you're bullish on something, find somebody that's bearish. If you're bearish on something, find somebody that's bullish, because they're going to give you a fuller picture of whatever it is, and not just crypto. In life, politics, religion, whatever. It's understanding the full picture, not just your point of view, is the way that you have a fuller understanding of a topic or a project or something like that. So what do you think?
Yeah, and a healthy way of going about all that is look at you guys the day, like later on in that episode too, and the following days. You're not still mad at each other or arguing.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, no, it's that's what you want. You want good heated debates, but still be able to come together and like, okay, well, we don't fully agree, but we can see, each side's argument. You want it to be healthy and to still be civilized after.
Well, it's like back in the day.
I'm gonna block you.
Well, like when the founding fathers and stuff were like founding the country, there's those stories where they used to like freaking scream and yell, and like I guess there was one instance that got so heated that like one dude like beat the other dude with a cane or some shit. Oh, like back in the day, back in the founding of of the U.S. And but no, I mean that's what colleges used to be. Is they were for they call it a healthy discourse or something like that. Basically, where you debate things like me and David do, and you can get very heated, but it's always fact based. It's always logical. You have to cite your sources. It's you can't just state something and because you feel that way, that's the truth. You have to and that's why like we were getting heated, and I was like, we need to both understand, what does revenue mean? Like what is the definition of revenue? Because we're not going to be able to have a debate about a topic including revenue without agreeing that it means the same thing. It's just that that's kind of why I was bringing up the what is a woman thing, because that's the best example I could think of, where it's like if you can't debate with somebody that thinks that because they think they're a woman they're magically a woman. It's and then people want to get weird about it, and they want to be start talking about where there's the what is it they say?
It's my truth. It's my truth.
Yeah, that one's annoying as shit too. It's like, no, that's your opinion. It's like there is no your truth. That's your fucking opinion. That's all that is.
Oh man. No, so yeah, talking about hacks, we got another one, the Axelar network.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was this morning. They identified an incident affecting assets bridged over IBC, or inter blockchain communication, to secret network from the Axelar chain, with approximately 4.67 million worth of tokens taken. So the issue is isolated to the secret side ICS 20 smart contract of the Cosmos connection between Secret and Axelar, used for assets bridged between the two chains. So the Axelar Emergency Committee has disabled the secret and secret SNP connections. They're reaching out to relevant exchanges and law enforcement agencies. And so, yeah, they, okay, so they analyzed the secret network incident. An attacker exploited an infinite mint bug in a modified token contract on secret to drain the 4.67 million. The attacker minted arbitrary secret wrapped Axelar assets on secret by spinning up a new Cosmos chain with one validator and self-relying IBC packets to it. So they basically made their own validator to verify these transactions. The contract did not validate which IBC channel inbound tokens came from. The attacker exited via Axelar bridge, but the Axelar's protocol was not compromised. But yeah, dude, this another week. We had more projects shut down earlier this week, and another.
No, it's and I this is just the beginning. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not the only one that feels this way. There's plenty of people out there that, different channels I've watched, and some of them, like, very, very smart people. Like Cowan, Ben Cowan, and some other people, and pretty much everybody, from the influencers to the actual smart people. There's a general consensus that like 95% or more of these crypto projects are going to go away. There's going to be like 5% or less that end up being the Googles and the Microsofts and the Nvidias and stuff like that, the Amazons of crypto. And we're starting to see it. We're starting to see these people folding up shop. You're starting to see the vaporware that was supposed to be like the best out there getting exploited and getting hacked and going down, and shit. What was it? Sui. Freaking David was talking about, he was trying to use Sui. It was only $10, but I guess he was in the middle of sending $10 or something to a wallet, and the network went down, and it was down for like 3 hours or something. When it came back up, his money was just gone.
Yeah, that was. I think he was doing it. So the network went down for like 7 or 8 hours, and then it came back, and then he tried to get some funds out, and then it went down again, I think, or was having issues. And yeah, he was like in the middle of it. And I mean,
well, dude, imagine if that $10 had a couple of zeros to it. Yep. What if it was 100 grand or 10 grand or a million? It's like it if the system does that, it doesn't matter if it was $10. I mean, it's just that transaction just fucking vanished. Like, where the fuck did it go? These are supposed to be freaking ledgers. These are supposed to have a historical record of the transactions. So what the hell happened with that?
They Harry Houdini'd him.
You know what I mean, though? I mean, and again, I'm not an expert on the tech. I'm not a cryptographer. I'm not anything like that. But I mean, to me, that's what my understanding. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. I mean, that's what these are supposed to be, right? Is they're supposed to be an immutable ledger.
Mm-hmm.
That's what blockchain is. Is each block is a record of the transactions for that period, and then you can follow that chain all the way back, and there's a full account of all transactions and everything that's been done on that network. That's my understanding of it.
Each block has its own key that links to the next block, and
if they don't match it, then the chain rejects it.
Yep. Yeah. So it's and when the system goes down, and those transactions that are trying to go through, I mean, who knows if there's something running in the back end that isn't a digital ledger or a blockchain type verification network that is still running, and your transaction might go somewhere else, but you don't see it. Something like that could happen. I wonder if they had a back door built in that just kind of sent stuff to another place.
Again, I'm not going to guess at it, but I mean, that's it. It happened. So I don't know if I would be comfortable using Sui. If it went down like David said it did, I don't doubt him at all. I'm not going to send any meaningful amount of money across the Sui network if it's has the potential to disappear if the network goes down.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we're seeing all this right now when the markets are down, because it's making me really
reassess. Reassess
Yeah,
what you're going to freaking invest in as you rebuild your portfolio.
Yeah, man. This is great lessons, man. Great lessons. And the deep dives that you guys are doing on the morning show are valuable, super valuable. And the fact that we have a library on our Node website that we'll show at the end of this stream. But man, if you guys got to take advantage, because it's education that doesn't cost a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one more thing. So Kalshi.
Damn it. All right. Stop it. There you go.
Oh no, that's yours.
All right.
There we go. Yeah, so prediction market Kalshi eyeing their first ever prediction market IPO. So I guess they were last valued at 22 billion and reportedly passed 2 billion in annualized revenue. So
solid.
Potentially the first prediction market to IPO.
Now, prediction markets are having some legal battles right now. There's a lot of states that are filing, different suits against a lot of these platforms that are, prediction markets and stuff like that. So, I mean, there is some headwinds going on with that.
Well, and that was like DraftKings, and stuff years ago when they were trying to get regulation, and it was banned in Nevada, I think, and some other states.
I mean, for obvious reasons. I mean, they want to have the monopoly on gambling as much as possible. I mean, that's their entire state revenue. Is generated by Reno and Vegas. There's pretty much nothing else in Nevada. There's a bunch of small towns, but all the taxes comes from those casinos.
Yeah. So it's not surprising, but I'd be curious to see. I thought Polymarket would have been the first one, because they've been around quite a while, but I guess Kalshi's been really hitting it hard. But yeah, interesting to see. And I think they have a female CEO too.
Is it like JP Morgan, where she's like freaking telling her little brown boy to get over there, and it's like,
your fish head wife.
that was it was actually kind of, I mean, it ended up, I guess, where it wasn't true, but dude, the memes and stuff like that came out of that were fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And then a bunch of people made like some AI videos, of like, big bust, had her, that she's all big busted, and they were made like little, I don't know, like 2 minute or 1 minute movies about him getting sexually harassed at work. And then it has like a bunch of people running in the building, a bunch of guys running in the building with applications to get hired there.
Yep.
So,
yeah. I think oh yeah, this is her. Oh, they're two co-founders.
Oh, she's cute.
Yeah. So always takes a man too, Oh shit. But yeah, that's all the juicy takes I got.
All right. Well, here, let's just put it on this one over now. Well, I mean, as far as what I got, In DeFi, we got DeFi sponsorships. So the Blockchain Futurist Conference has partnered with Anvil to introduce on-chain letters of credit. This allows sponsors to reserve spots using digital assets as collateral without upfront capital, effectively bringing buy now, pay later models on chain. Interesting.
Buy now, pay later. Like, do they explain what kind of?
Well, I mean, if it sounds interesting, I can read the whole article or part of the article if you want.
Yeah, yeah, because there's a lot of buy now, pay later stuff. Even food delivery, like DoorDash, I think was doing a buy now, pay or order now, pay later thing.
Okay. So this is it. So basically, sponsoring a conference is always like a conference where they or like the gun shows and stuff like that, or the Bitcoin conference where they have the booths and all that. That's what they're talking about. So sponsoring a conference has always brought on a difficult choice: either commit early and hand over capital months in advance, or wait and risk losing your spot. With Anvil's on-chain letters of credit, futurist sponsors have a third option: reserving their spot by pledging digital assets they already hold. So maybe like I don't know, like some kind of like lock or something like that, or you have to stake them. But it says no upfront payment required. Those assets stay in your possession, earning yield if applicable, until the financial promise is fulfilled. So I guess it would lock your assets into wherever you have them, earning or whatever, but they're collateral. So if you pay your bill, then they release it. If you don't, then that's what they use to get paid. So
okay.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry. All right, what else we got? Institutional adoption. Public companies are facing increased scrutiny regarding SOX 404 compliance and internal controls as more firms incorporate Bitcoin, Ethereum, and tokenized real-world assets into their treasury strategies. So it looks like this 404 compliance, yeah, it's this is the kind of thing that is keeping institutions out of crypto. Is just unclear rules and regulations and guidelines because they don't want to run into stuff like this. It's their they don't want to end up in a freaking battle with the SEC or something. I mean, love them or hate them. Ripple was the only one that stood up to the SEC. They had plenty of money to do it because they were selling XRP to do it, but they spent hundreds of millions of dollars fighting the SEC because the SEC was full of shit. So I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due. I talk a lot of shit about XRP, but dude, they were the only ones that had the treasury, to be able to draw from, that billion XRP that's unlocked each month. It's they had the funds, but that goes back to my problem with XRP. It's we provided liquidity to them. They have all these, all this liquidity at their disposal to fight lawsuits and buy, all these different banks and companies and, get all these licenses and stuff like that. But what do we get? Like as an XRP holder, I mean, like literally, what do you get other than you hope the price of the token will go up? The tokenomics suck. The whole thesis for XRP, being a high dollar, asset. And the only reason I keep bringing this up is I really want people to understand value capture.
A bunch of paid shills.
It's just, but if you don't understand value capture, if these assets end up being anything like traditional assets, and that's the way the institutions and smart money, smart individuals with money are going to treat these assets. They're going to look at it as a real valuation, not some inflated market cap that's based off of hype. I mean, there's projects with tens of billions of dollars and billions of dollars of TVL that have no product. They do nothing. And I mean, it was the same thing with the .coms. This is the same thing that happened with the .coms. is anything with a .com got money thrown at it for a while, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like a light switch went off. All of a sudden, like it was a game of musical chairs, and all of a sudden there was all kinds of .coms that, like a lot of these, that Jeff was going through, all these crypto projects that are folding up shop. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So they're folding up shop, and that's the same thing that happened with the .coms, and then it ended up being where Yahoo, Google, Amazon, just there's .coms that had that actually generated revenue, and they were able to to stay afloat. But and a lot of them prosper. Same thing's going to happen in crypto. I mean, what are you seeing, Jeff?
Oh, yeah, I see. I've been saying that for a while. A lot of these layer twos and DeFi protocols and stuff, and even the gaming projects. Like one of the Pudgy Penguin gaming arms is shutting down. So people are like, Pudgy Penguins can't even make Web3 gaming a reality. It's going to be really tough. There was a really popular game on Cardano actually called Cornucopias. It was like this cool racing game that they had been building out for years, and I think they rebranded to a different name or something, and it's just you kind of predict it. I mean, when stuff you have too many things going on, too many of the same protocols and layer twos, rinse and repeat, and it's like was it Palmer Luckey? Um, he's the one that built the Oculus and is doing the he's working with the military now for technology, cool technology shit. But he was saying that the reason why VC funds dried up so much is because you had these developers and entrepreneurs that were on their 10th delivery app and all that bullshit. It's like you're not gonna capture any value from all these redundant projects or redundant ideas. You got to find
Oh,
something
you mean
unique.
they were like launching stuff and nobody was using any of them? They just kept launching
Yeah,
more stuff instead of trying to freaking make one of them work or a couple of them work. They just kept making more shit that nobody was using.
yeah, and stuff that's already been built.
Like, we're
And
gonna make these little widgets. They have no purpose. Nobody wants them, and we're gonna keep fucking making them.
yeah, it's like, come on, guys, and that extracts liquidity from other areas. And I mean, like with the meme coins, they took so much liquidity out from real valuable projects that um it really kind of fucked the sentiment, and also the price of a lot of projects. The Trump and Melania token that really kind of fucked everybody. So Solana went down a lot, and a bunch of other projects just tanked. So
Oh,
what's the real value in that?
yeah, Joseph. Actually, yes. Me and my nephew, we've worked out today. So we worked out what 2 days ago. Yeah, and we took a day off, and then today we worked out again. But we've been doing that logging pulley, doing the freaking kettlebell swings with
Yeah.
that logging pulley. We've been doing the other kettlebell, doing halos and stuff like that. Sets of push-ups, hitting the tractor tire with the sledgehammer. Did a little jog, just down to the gate and back, nothing major, just to kind of finish off the workout. Make sure the blood got to everywhere. What else we do?
That's right.
I think that was it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we got a good workout in. I'm actually pretty excited. He's thinking about coming up here. He still needs to talk to the boss. He needs to talk to his mom and get the A-OK, because his mom squared the fuck away. Like, she's a badass fucking lady. But yeah, so it's if he gets the blessing, the ominous dominus from mom, and he's gonna come back. He's gonna drive back up here, and he's gonna help me rebuild this house, for his mom and dad, and build like their dream cabin, and then do a couple little tiny houses, and we're gonna do some Airbnbs like I was telling you. So no, I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, yes,
Hell yeah.
Talk to the moms.
This would be a badass project.
Oh no, dude! It's yeah. I mean, I think me and my brother are going to do it regardless. But if he wants to, we want him to do it because we kind of want to build a family business. It'd be cool to have like my nephew and my brother's son, um, basically teach him everything I know about construction, and about the wells and septic systems and stuff like that. And his dad can teach him all the real estate stuff and teach him all the legal stuff. To where if he sticks with it, dude, he's gonna be like fucking next level. I mean, he has a freaking attorney, basic that owns his own law firms and specializes in wills and trusts and elder law and all that financial stuff, and then owns title companies, so he knows everything about fucking real estate. And then, like I said, I know all the construction stuff and all the boots on the ground stuff. So it's like he's gonna get a master class. There's no college that could teach you, all the stuff that he's going to learn.
No, it's a
it'd be a
valuable
couple
skill.
$100,000. It'd be a couple $100,000 for that education. I mean, just law school.
Sure.
I mean, just law school, dude.
Yep. And also you get so much more value and sense of fulfillment when you build shit with your own two hands. And
oh hell yeah, dude.
Family thing too. You're like, damn, I'm gonna do whatever I can to protect this place.
Oh yeah. No, and yeah, and like I said, actually, I want to talk to my brother too because I kind of want to put my cabin property like in the trust and business and make it part of the assets because I just want to make sure that this stays in the family forever. It's like I don't, I would if it has to get sold, to like save somebody's life because they need like a life saving operation, cool, whatever. But other than just short of that, I just want this to be like a badass place for like generations of my family, where they can come and enjoy it, and freaking because places like this are disappearing. I mean, I don't think people realize that there's not a whole lot of places that you can go anymore unless you go up like deep up into Canada or some shit, or like remote places are getting less and less.
Yep. Yeah. Preserve that property and keep it in your family as much as you can. And
well, I mean, I figure, and I got that Hawaii property
burdens.
Well, I got that 3 acres in Hawaii, and basically I want to put that in the company too, and put a couple tiny houses on it, and basically just have it to where have it to where right off the bat we'd have 3 income producing properties, and then just keep buying more, and just again build a little empire. You know what I mean?
Yep. Smart. I see David in the chat. He said, yeah, I was looking at the top 100 projects by market cap in the premium call today, and just kind of crazy how the majority of them have pretty much close to no use case scammy tokens. And he said, the funny thing is there may be some really legit projects outside of the top 100. And you guys are starting to do deep dives on outside of the top 100 projects now, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, today we did Soul and Jupe, and I'm trying to knock out all the ones that I know, anytime, the ones that get hyped the most. That's why I've been focusing on like Ondo and XLM when they were pumping and stuff like that. Because I was hoping that, people would watch it at least before, they bought. And if they want to buy, after they've done some research, cool. But it's just I really want to have that library. It's so awesome for David to put that together. I'm thinking having that library because whenever I'm on social media and I'm talking to people and I'm trying to tell them about value capture and I'm trying to tell them about the tokenomics of certain projects, it's just like, hey, Les, go watch this, and I can just drop a link. I'm just like, this is our library. Go here, watch this video, and if take notes, whatever, and then do your own research. Make sure that it's correct, but it's going to give you a really good idea. There might be 5 or 10% of it that maybe it's wrong. Okay, accept it. But there's 90% truth in there. So if you sit down and you learn it, and if something doesn't sound right, then you go do your own research on it. But I don't know. that's my only motivation is I don't care what people invest in as long as they just understand what they're investing in. And if they don't, I mean, I don't really care. I'm not going to lose any sleep. But that's kind of our mission here is we're here to educate. We're not here to influence.
Yep. And one more thing I found, since we were talking about Aave earlier. So they dropped this morning. So new Aave V4 security audit. I think David would like to look into this. Is now available. So covering the V4 tokenization spoke. So you can read it below.
He was bullish on that when we were going through it. Because of that spoked model. I didn't understand it fully, but my understanding is it dealt with a lot of that pooled liquidity. That issue with the pooled liquidity.
So the spokes are kind of a vault, different vaults and
something.
Load. Yeah.
Whenever we're doing the deep dives, a lot of times I'm on social media and doing other things, but I listen passively, and what I was able to pick up on it and what I understood before was that's what the V4 was going to do. It was going to basically de-risk by not having all the liquidity in one place.
Okay. So it's a vault that wraps Liquidity Hub asset deposits into fungible ERC20 shared tokens, giving liquidity providers a claim. Interesting. Man. Yeah, that's what you need. You need to see these projects when shit happens. You want to see them course correct. If they don't do anything, then you know that you don't want to get involved with them.
Oh, Sack Nasty is going to know.
Oh, man. We've been noding for almost an hour, man.
Yep, that's is that a happy tissue or is that a sad tissue?
So what was the thing about Kita that you were talking about? CypherX? So what were you guys kind of going? What's his name?
You're talking about Crux?
Or Crux?
Yeah, the Crux of crypto. Super cool dude. I mean, I've watched his channel before multiple times. He does really good content, really good production value, kind of more short form. It's like pre-recorded and edited and stuff, but really good, solid content. Usually, I mean, here I'll show his profile real quick.
Yeah, because he said that there was some stuff that we didn't quite get right, but misunderstanding.
You know what? And I don't doubt it. I mean, it's we can be wrong just like anybody. So yeah, I mean, I'm talking to him about coming on next week, and basically just go over. But yeah, you can see actually no, his videos are some of them are 2 hours long, 1 hour long. Oh, okay. The ones where he's talking about projects are like about 15 minutes. So he has longer stuff, but whenever he's this one, he's talking about Caspa, he's giving like his little deep dive. He keeps it to 15 minutes, which is smart.
Yeah.
Okay. But he's a veteran too. He was in the military as well, and he understands. Like veterans, they understand that you can talk shit, you can freaking whatever. Like me and David, how we kind of debate and go back and forth. Military vets, we got thick skin, so we can have heated debates and talk about stuff. And we're just gonna at the end of the day, we'll be like, all right, bro, what up? Let's go get a beer, whatever it is. It's just I don't know. People are just too delicate these days. But no, we've chatted back and forth in DMs. Super chill dude. He's super respectful, and actually cited some sources where I was like, you know what? Okay, freaking, we could have gotten some stuff wrong. And he was, just said, hey, if you'd like, I'd love to come on the show. Was super respectful about it. And I was just like, yeah, you're exactly the kind of person. I even told him if it goes well, I'd love to have you on, a couple times, or have you as a semi-regular. Because me and David have talked about like maybe on the Friday, the Node show, having it be a panel, and just have like other channels, people come on and basically just talk about a topic. Maybe it's wallets, maybe debate, the importance of value capture, whatever, and just bounce it around. So no,
It's like
it's
the round table, Mario Naval's round table, except
kind of
it's
like that.
not paid
Yeah,
promotion stuff. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, yeah, and it's still valuable info that that Mario Naval puts out. But yeah, I mean, all of those are paid. It's whoever there is the guest on there. We talk about a topic for like 30 minutes, and then the last 30 minutes is them talking about their project. And usually the topic that we're debating, like one of them, there was like a new perps dex that was on the show that paid to be there, and a bunch of us were debating, the value of a perps dex and kind of the role that they play in DeFi and things like that. And so anyway, but yeah, similar to that.
Yeah, I like how he has Sui, Solana, and XRP in that first.
You dude, David fucking honed in on that too. He was like Sui and Solana an A, XRP a B, freaking Sheeb a D. It's like
Shit.
what the hell? It's like, but yeah, I mean that just could be a graphic. That doesn't mean that's necessarily what he picked. Yeah, I know how doing these thumbnails, especially when you're when you're putting them together with AI and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just like cool, it looks good, that might actually get more people to watch it. If they're like, what the fuck, he rated that, that grade, that gets some people like rage baiting. It's like you're rage baiting somebody. It's some of our most viewed content was when we did that basically where we talked about XRP and just the reasons why we weren't bullish on it. That thing went like freaking viral, dude.
Yeah, XRPB, definitely bring him on this show. Yes.
Dude, for like 2 years, I've been challenging all the XRP maxis, like all of them out there that are constantly talking about XRP. I've been like, come on the show. I'm more than happy to have a spirited but respectful debate on the merits of XRP. And not once. They'll talk all kinds of shit and they'll, say I don't know what I'm talking about. And anytime that I ask them to cite sources or to come on the show, it's radio silence. So,
and so that says a lot about this guy willing to say, hey, here's what I think, and I'd love to come on the show and talk. Like, you don't see that from the XRP army.
No. And like I said, and he's willing to come on and and is obviously knowledgeable about the project. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Well, I guess that's about time. I'm gonna go make some burgers for me and my nephew. Freaking, we're hungry from working out. So,
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna share the socials real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Follow us on YouTube at the Node Network. If you're on Twitter, make sure to follow on YouTube. Jump in the chat so that way you can engage with everybody and talk shit. Tell us when we're wrong so we can fire back. We have a bunch of shows throughout the week, Monday through Saturday. You can find all the programming here at thenode.pro, thenode.pro, our website. Over here in the More tab, we have our programming that shows all the shows scheduled throughout the week and the times that the shows are at. And like we were saying earlier, the Intel library doesn't cost a thing. There's full of deep dives. We have the source material, the videos, slide decks. It's a lot of stuff that we pack in here. So it doesn't cost you anything. No cost education. We all love that. People would be charging out the ass for all this stuff. And our AI newsletter, you can generate it twice a day, and you can get your own free a preview brief. FREE. You can select fully customizable, select your own assets, crypto, stocks, commodities, get market news, updates, inflows, outflows, all kinds of data, support resistance levels. I mean, you're getting a lot of alpha with this. Save you hours and hours a day of just searching the internet. And our community, join our Discord. Doesn't cost a thing. We have an amazing community in there.
Actually, it does cost something. It's free 30 free.
Free.
It's free 30 free. You got to pay an introductory cost of free 30 free, and then it's free after that.
Yeah. Just make sure you say hi. And you can connect with us one-on-one in there.
Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share.
Yes. That's honestly, the best thing that you can do to help support the channel. And if you see anything that is wrong in any of the deep dives that we do or on any of the shows, let us know. Like we were saying earlier, we're more than happy to discuss and
as long as you cite your sources. I'm not just going to take your word for it. You have to tell me what we got wrong, and you need to give me a link or tell me where I can find and verify that information. That's what cite means. You have to tell me officially where is that, at that, like on the official web page, in their white paper, in their manifesto, whatever. You just have to tell me where it's at. And if I go look and you're right, we will change the information in our, on our website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like in school with the research papers, cite your sources.
Yep.
Nothing different. But in other ways, you can support the channel if you want, get some cool merch that we got. And David does offer private coaching one-on-one. You can do an introductory call if you're that far into your investment journey. But if he doesn't feel like you're ready for that, he'll tell you to go check out our Learn tab, where this education doesn't cost a thing. There's 15 courses, bunch of lessons. So DeFi University, DeFi High School, Bitcoin University, tons of lessons and quizzes to get you ramped up and knowledgeable. So if you're looking for a place to start, this is perfect. So like I said, it doesn't cost a thing. And other people are charging thousands and thousands for these kind of courses. So yeah, super valuable stuff. And you can follow us on Twitter at @the_node_network. And the arena, check us out, the_only_DCA. We're still waiting to change that. But yeah, all the fun. And we appreciate having you.
Absolutely. So if you could, Jeff pointed out all the ways that you can, help the channel, but most of all we ask is if you find us entertaining, if you think that, we're freaking, entertaining idiots, or you think that what we, put out here is valuable to you in some way, all we ask is a like, go to the bottom, hit a like, subscribe if you want to, watch our different shows, and share it if you think somebody else will enjoy it, because that's why we're here. I mean, and that's what's gonna help the channel grow. So we appreciate you. Until next time, Veteran Crypto out.
Peace out.